Hello everyone, let's begin. Supreme Court has raised the status of many provisions of direct principles to that of fundamental rights by suggesting they also violate one's right to life. I gave you an example also regarding this statement in the previous video. For example, as discussed earlier, the same example is given over here, so I'm not reading it. Accordingly, right to education for ages 6 to 14 years is now part of Fundamental Rights chapter. Other prominent example is right to livelihood, which is a directive principle, often read with right to life as fundamental right. Supreme Court has often directed state to rehabilitate slum dwellers whenever they are evicted on grounds of encroachments. Eviction without rehabilitation closer to their workplace amounts to violation of their right to livelihood and in turn the right to life. I think you know what is the plight of the people, or what is the plight of health and hygiene if as far as slums are concerned. So the people who live in slum, that is slum dwellers, they are removed from their living areas, और अगर हम कोई ब्रिज बना रहे हैं तो वहाँ जो लोग थे उनको हमने हटा दिया, एंड वी आर नॉट रिहैबिलिटिंग देम. हम उनको ऐसी फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहे कि आपके पास अब यहाँ से जाने के बाद भी प्रॉपर फैसिलिटीज़ हों जहाँ आप खा सकें, जहाँ आप प्रॉपरली रह सकें. तो आपने उनकी छत छीनी, आपने उनसे उनका खाना छीना, आपने उनसे उनकी लाइवलीहुड छीनी, लेकिन आप उनको इन रिटर्न कुछ प्रोवाइड नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप उनको रिहैबिलिटेट नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो दैट affects their right to livelihood and the right to life. That's why Supreme Court has set the government to rehabilitate the slum dwellers or the villagers or the people who are evicted, who are removed without proper rehabilitation facilities. Then fundamental duties, we read in the previous video that DPSPs are in part 4 of Indian Constitution, and fundamental duties are in part 4 subclause A of Indian Constitution. Article 51A of Constitution prescribes fundamental duties of every citizen. Now hereby I am giving you a homework. Search for it. From which country we have borrowed this fundamental duties provision? Okay. Article 51A of Indian Constitution defines some fundamental duties. Now if it is a duty, then everybody has to follow it, everybody has to react to it. हम आपको कुछ ड्यूटी दे रहे हैं, to every citizen लिखा है ना, so every citizen is assigned a duty that he is bound to follow. In that, certain conduct and behavior are expected from the citizens. कि as part of India, or as an Indian, or as a citizen of the country India, you have to show these behavior, or you have to show certain conduct. What are those? Are given over here. Respecting the constitution and institutions, national flag, national anthem, cherishing and following noble ideals of national struggle for freedom. We got independent from British rule from a long span of 200 years, so that whole struggle to get independence, कोई भी इसका मजाक ना उड़ाए, बल्कि जो फ्रीडम फाइटर्स थे उनके जो नेशनलिज्म के आइडियाज़ थे, जो आइडियल्स थे, उनको फॉलो किया जाए. आप अपने हिस्ट्री पर गर्व महसूस करें, उसके लिए शर्मसार ना हो. ठीक है. Upholding and protecting the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Sovereignty, I think everybody knows. India is a secular nation, and nobody can interfere with its internal matters. India is combined as a unit, so that now no other country comes and divide and rule over here. And integrity, dignity of India as a nation. Defending the country and rendering national service when called upon to do so. In a war-like situation, it may happen that country needs all the male people, or it needs some citizens who will fight on the area and राइट. सो फॉर दैट यू हैव टू गिव नेशनल सर्विस. आपको नेशन ने बहुत कुछ दिया इतने सालों तक. अब अगर नेशन आपसे कुछ मांगेगा एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन इट नीड्स यू, तो आपको नेशन के लिए भी काम करना होगा. Promoting harmony amongst religious, linguistic, and regional diversities, and renouncing practices derogatory to women's dignity. If there is a practice that would lower the dignity of a woman, then you have to leave that practice, or you don't need to practice it anymore. And there should be proper unity and harmony, proper peace, law and order situation should be maintained. India is a country of diversities. We have to respect those diversities, those differences of culture, religious, language, and we have to treat everybody equally. Valuing and preserving rich heritage and culture, protecting natural environment, developing scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform. If you feel that this or that certain practice in the society is against humanism, or it's against the dignity of a man as a human, so you can have the capability, and you have to render the capability in you or in a group of people that now there is a need to change this thing. You can bring a reform. Safeguarding public property, abjuring violence. You don't have to be violent, you don't have to incite violence among the people कि एक दूसरे से ही लड़ना शुरू हो जाए, एक सिविल वॉर टाइप का हो जाए, ऐसा नहीं करना है. पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी, पब्लिक व्हीकल्स, जैसे कहते हैं ना रोड्स साफ रखो, वाई इट इज़ सेट, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी, पब्लिक प्लेस है वो. बस को साफ रखो. बस है तो हम कूड़ा फेंक दिए, जो हमने खाया, हमने बिस्किट खाया, बैग से निकाल कर उसका छिलका हमने नीचे फेंक दिया बस के ज़मीन पर, वो नहीं करना चाहिए. इट इज़ अ पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी. यू हैव टू सेफ गार्डेड, यू हैव टू कीप इट क्लीन. सेफ गार्डिंग का मतलब हो सकता है आप उसको प्रोटेक्ट करें. जब भी कोई गवर्नमेंट के किसी पॉलिसी के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट कर रहा होता है, तो जनरली पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी डैमेज करी जाती है, तब वॉयलेंट सिचुएशन होती है एंड पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टीज़ आर डैमेज्ड. ये चीज़ें नहीं होनी चाहिए. Striving for excellence and raising nation to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. आप you become an expert or you excel in a certain field, and you, जैसे कहते हैं ना, नेशन का नाम बड़ा करो, रोशन करो नाम, so something like that. At the international level, you are raising the nation, you are raising the name of the country India. Providing opportunities for education to children by their parents between the age of 6 and 14 years. That means parents should provide their children proper education facilities if those children are in the age gap of 6 to 14 years. And that is the age to provide elementary education, right? Now let's look the salient features of fundamental duties. These cannot be enforced in a court of law for violation of duties, and no one can be punished for the violation. I'm not standing up if my national anthem is being sung. So I have violated this duty. I have not fulfilled this obligation or this duty. So I will not be punished, because first thing is that these cannot be enforced in a court of law. वॉयलेशन के लिए पनिशमेंट तो तब मिलेगी ना जब इस बेस पर हम कोर्ट में जाकर लड़ सके. जब फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ एनफोर्स ही नहीं हो सकती इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस इन अ कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ, तो हम कैसे उसके वॉयलेशन के लिए केस लड़ सकते हैं? क्योंकि पार्ट 4 का एक पार्ट है ये. पार्ट 4 था DPSPs विच कैन नॉट बी एनफोर्स्ड इन कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ, and part 4 subclause A is fundamental duties. So these cannot also be enforced in a court of law. These contain standards to be followed by the citizens, as we read over here also, that these are certain code of conducts and behavior that is expected from the citizens, that they will follow it. If they don't follow it, they will not be punished. They remind citizens not to behave irresponsibly, but help building a free, democratic and strong society. Government alone cannot do all this stuff. Citizens on their part also need to render their responsibilities. So they should act responsibly, and they should act in a manner that can help the government and the other people and the other sections of the society to build a better place or a better society to live in. Okay, a free and strong society. It may be possible that, just like provisions of directive principles, courts may raise the status of these duties in future. That depends upon the discretion of courts totally. So, not much to discuss in that. Complaint mechanisms of quasi judicial bodies will be taken up in the next video.